Hello, my friends. Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a great day. Hopefully today I will make sense. I have a lot of things on my mind. Things that have been stirring for quite a few years, actually, that have really been brought to the forefront in these last few weeks. And I'll tell you about the three things that brought all these thoughts together. First is that we have some friends who are refugees from Burma or Myanmar, depending on which, both are the same place. They were refugees and had to leave their home because they were Christian, and people were, I'm going to be emotional today, were killing and murdering them because of their beliefs. And they stayed in a refugee camp for 7 years, eating rice for every meal, every day, and not being allowed to leave the refugee camp until they were able to come here. And our family has really been blessed from knowing them. Anyway, we went to their son's missionary homecoming. He served in Nebraska, teaching a whole bunch of other refugees on his mission, and he is an amazing young man. And it just got me thinking about how grateful I am to know them. And then at the same time that was happening, my neighbor referred this book to me. It's on the Battle of the Books list this year. Front Desk by Kelly Yang. And she just recommended that I read it. And it was a beautiful little story. And in fact, I bought it because it's going to be required reading in the Mortensen household. It's about an immigrant family from China and their experience. And again, emotional. I was like, oh, it's such a great story, until you get to the end and find out that the experiences in the story are based on her real life experiences. And then it took on a lot more meaning for me. And anyway, so I highly recommend reading that to your kids if you don't know people from other countries or wonder what their experience is like. And obviously for every immigrant in the world, everybody's story is unique and individual, but I think it was so great and written in a way that our kids can understand. Anyway, at the same time I was reading that, I also heard an interview by this lady, Maggie Paxson. I got this at the library. It's called The Plateau. And this book is based on a story about an area in France called the Plateau. And the people who lived there during the World War II and during the Holocaust, they took in and sheltered thousands of Jewish people and protected them, many at their own peril, who ended up having to go to the camps because they were protecting and helping the people. And they didn't listen to what their government said. They didn't care that the people believed differently than they did. They just said, we don't see a Jew, we see a man, and we're going to help them. So emotional. Anyway, the past few years, with all the stories and the problems with immigration and just the negative ways that people speak about other people, it's very hurtful to me. I didn't mean to be so emotional, but I have friends from Colombia, Ecuador, Ghana, Czechoslovakia, Denmark, Myanmar. Many have escaped wars in their own country, have had their families be killed, have had children who have had disabilities, and that's why they needed to come here. Or not disabilities, but kind of like cleft palate deformations, and they want so much for their families to be able to be free and be safe. But many came from places that were more comfortable. I know of immigrants who in their home countries were doctors and really well off, and then they come here and they just have to work in the pork factory and barely survive. So many different stories, but each family that I've gotten to know My sweet, sweet neighbor from Vietnam who is Buddhist. I learned so much from her, and she is so kind and loving. My neighbor from Ghana who is just so protective of her family and her grandkids. Anyway, and my neighbors from Colombia they've since moved, but they were some of the most kind and hardworking people I have ever met. And so, I guess there's so much value in getting to know and love people that are different and believe different and have different life experience than we do. And when I hear all the negativity and anger directed towards them, it just really makes me sad, because my life has only been blessed by the people I know from other places. And in the little Presbyterian church they have, or it might even be Protestant church that they have in the plateau, there's this plaque on the outside of their church building that just says, "Love one another." And I hope that my children are learning that when you see someone who's different from you, that there is never a reason to fear. We have so much more in common than we have not in common. And my life is so richly blessed by people from all walks of life, all religions, all beliefs. And they're good, kind people. And so if you are one of my friends from somewhere other than America, which we all are immigrants if you think about it, I just want you to know that I love you and I am grateful for the way you bless my life. So, sorry that I'm crying, but it's something I feel really deeply about. And if you know of any other books or stories or just friends that you've made that have blessed your life, I'd love to hear about it. And I highly recommend reading that front desk book with your kids. I would say probably, I'm probably going to read it to my kindergartner and up. And we'll just read it and talk about it. My kids have been very richly blessed from the diversity around them. Anyway, how has getting to know other people from other places been a blessing in your life? I'd love to hear about it. And I hope you have a happy Thursday. Bye.